viewers at home. Welcome to your darling program. Welcome to Inside a Newspaper, where we talk about the newspaper review. And today we are going to the Punch newspaper and the next Tribune newspaper. Firstly, the Punch newspaper. IG cautions against unlawful arrests and prolonged detentions. The Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun, has warned officers of the Nigeria Police Force against the unlawful and prolonged detentions of suspects. The IG stressed that suspects must not be detained beyond the legally stipulated period and warned that any officers found capable of such violation will face the street disciplinary mayor. Egbetokun noted that unlawful detentions erode public trust and confidence in police force, and urging officers to conduct their duties and professionalism, integrity, and respect for human rights. In a statement on Sunday by the first spokesperson, Muyiwa Adejobi, the IG said on Sunday unveiled the 125-kilometer Benin-Ashaba highway and expected to be completed within 30 months. Tinubu was represented at the unveiling by the governor of Edo State, Senator Monday Okpebholo. Senator Monday Okpebholo said the road is a legacy project and the Edo State is now becoming like Lagos in terms of infrastructural development. He thanked the president for the love shown to Edo State under his forge as governor. He said, "The president loves Edo State so much that whenever he sees me, he always asks me about the welfare of the Edo people and also that of the Oba of Benin. We once had a president from this region that never remember us. Edo is a gateway to the nations, and when the roads are bad, the economy of the state will be in Niger Republic have started reducing following the supplies of the commodity from Nigeria." The Punch reports multiple residents in the border communities and insider security sources familiar with the developments confirmed that deliberations 300 trucks of PMS were reportedly approved for delivery to the country. Petrol crisis eases in Nigeria after Nigeria's bailouts. The full details of these stories inside the Punch newspaper for today. And before we come back to the second edition of this program, the Tribune newspaper, if you like to follow live and direct on our website page, you can click and follow us on our website and click on www.abntv network. Likewise on our social media, you can follow us and like, share, comments, and make sure you subscribe and click on Abntv OSUN on our Facebook. And likewise on our YouTube, you can follow us on Abntv Nigeria. You can also follow us on our Twitter and click on Abntv OSUN. Likewise, lastly on Instagram, you can follow us, like, share, comments, and subscribe and click on Abntv Nigeria if you like to watch your live and direct on our website page. And before we come back to the second edition of this program, let's listen to what we have for in our studio. We'll be right back.
Discover the uniqueness in the entertainment industry. African Broadcasting Network (ABN) is now the pace setter in the industry. Do you want to advertise your product and services? Count on us. We will do it much more than your expectations. African Broadcasting Network (ABN) will deliver quick and prompt services. Our quality and clarity stands us out when it comes to delivering quality broadcasting. Our staffs are hardworking and versatile in the specific field of office. Our environment is so conducive and we are open to all. We also give advice on how to run your business profitably. African Broadcasting Network is situated at
9894 Eastern Street, Suite 875, Houston, Texas 77036.
Contact phone 281-652-8396 and
832-490-8203.
Website www.abntvnetwork.com. ABN, celebrating Africans' rich.
We are for our studio now to the second edition of this program, the Tribune newspaper. Tinubu committed to strengthen security, economic prosperity, says Ribadu. National Security Advisor Malam Nuhu Ribadu has stated President Bola Tinubu's commitment to improve the security challenges befalling the country as well as to lay a concrete foundation for economic prosperity. The body stated this when it hosted an iftar dinner for top Adamawa federal government and appointees and elected officials in Abuja during the sacred month of Ramadan, which was attended by over 50 prominent figures, including Ministers of Livestock Development, Honorable Mukhtar Idimar, and Permanent Secretary Federal Ministry of Finance, Mrs. Lydia Shehu Jafia, and Director General of the Nigeria Law School, Professor Issa Chiramo. Tinubu's commitment to strengthen security and economic prosperity says Ribadu. The full details of this story is inside the Tribune newspaper for today. Another story here with me in the Tribune newspaper for today. Understanding risk-based supervision in insurance. Risk-based supervision in insurance is a regulatory approach where insurers are supervised based on the levels of the risk they carry instead of applying uniform rules to all complaints. Regulates assess each as insurance-specific rules and elevates oversight accordingly. Key aspects of RBCs in insurance include risk assessments, where regulators evaluate the financial and operational and governance risks of an insurance professional supervision. In insurance with higher risks, receive closer monitoring, while those who lower risks have fewer regulatory burdens and forward-looking approach. Understanding risk-based supervision in insurance. The full details of these stories inside the Tribune newspaper for today. And lastly, here with me in the Tribune newspaper for today, Soyinka slams Tinubu emergency rule declaration in Rivers State. Professor Wole Soyinka has spotted President Bola Tinubu's declaration of a state of emergency in Rivers State. According to him, the actions betray the spark of federalism, adding that such a declaration may rule out the Constitution puts too much power in the hand of the president. Tribune Online reports that Tinubu on Tuesday declared emergency rule in the Niger Delta state and citing a protracted political crisis and instability. In his nationwide broadcast, Tinubu also suspended the state governor Simina Fumbara as Deputy Ngozi Odu and Rivers Assembly lawmakers for an initial period of 6 months. Consequently, the president appointed a retired Navy chief, Ibok Etse Ibas, as the state's sole administrator for the period of the emergency rule, which was later endorsed by both chambers of the National Assembly. But Soyinka, while speaking with the African Report, said should the president's actions be constitutionally, then there is a need for the country to amend its constitution so Nigeria can operate as genuine federal entity. He said, if it is a constitutional right, then I think it is about time we sat down and amended the constitution to make sure that it operates as a genuine federal entity. Continuing, the Nobel laureate said it is a whether the declaration and suspension of the elected officials was a wise one or not, adding that the government is over-centralized. The debate will go on whether this was in the first place a wise decision, but in terms of fundamental principle, and I believe that this is against the federal spirit of associations. Soyinka slams Tinubu emergency rule declarations in Rivers State. The full details of these stories inside the Tribune newspaper for today. And that's what we have for in our newspaper review. If you like to watch your live and interest in our website, you can follow us on www.abntv network. Likewise on our social media, you can follow us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram. On our Facebook, you can click and like, share, make sure you subscribe and click on Abntv Houston. Likewise on our YouTube, you can click on Abntv Nigeria. And you can also follow us on